Hello and welcome, bookworms. Welcome to this week's episode of The Contented Narrative. Remember what I said last week? Still a bit of a sore throat because those two videos were filmed back to back. But as I said, by next week's installment, my voice should, fingers crossed, be back to normal. So this week we're looking at A Sorceress Comes to Call by T.Kingfisher. Now, I have reviewed Kingfisher on my channel before. I do try and find new authors, so I will try and make sure that obviously in the coming months, especially with October being horror season, I'm hoping that each week, there's going to be a couple of authors there you might not have heard of, or I might not have reviewed on my channel before. But Kingfisher, what I love most about Kingfisher's work is that when you're reading the story, the villains aren't the villains, the heroes aren't the heroes. But in this one, the villain is the villain. So the villain is the mother, and it's Cordelia's mum. And basically, Cordelia's mum is a very, very powerful, try that again, powerful sorceress. And essentially, she's like, we need to go up in the world. We can't rely on, all of this. So the whole thing she's been building Cordelia up to do is to marry rich. But she uses something called the obedience, where basically she takes control of Cordelia's mind and body. So although Cordelia is kind of in there, she can't do anything for herself. So essentially what happens is her mother goes out and finds this rich guy that she's going to marry so that it can set them up for a little bit longer. But the sister, Hester, is like, something ain't right. Don't trust this woman. And she Cordelia's got an idea of how strong, how powerful her mother is, and her mother's horse, Falauda, I think it's called. And he's a familiar, and he's like a demon in a horse form. And she's got an idea, but she's trying to find a way of freeing herself, but then not making waves because she knows what her mother can do to her. So it's very interesting, sort of like when you see it from Cordelia's point of view, where it's like, she knows that she should do something, but she can't. So obviously when you're children and you're messing around and stuff, most people with their mums, they'd have that glare. Once you got that glare, you were like, nah, okay, no. And in most cases, like I know me and my siblings, we were very well behaved out and about. We weren't terrors when we got home. We were probably a little bit more rambunctious, but when we were out and about, we were very well behaved because it was all about looking good, because don't want to be on the wrong side of your parents, do you? Especially way back in my childhood. But it's an added layer because she knows that her mum has this power. So even when Hester starts reaching out to try and get her to help her, and when she sort of like then tells Hester, my mum's a sorceress, when she sort of like, when they're building up this plan to deal with her, she's still kind of sat there going, should I? Can I? Because she's been trained to fear and worry about what's going to happen for so long. And I think the characters were really interesting. I think the way that it went about the story was really good. I mean, I started reading this when I went down to visit my siblings the other weekend. And I started it on the coach and I was like, it'll take me all weekend. It's fine. And then I had to buy a book on a Kindle because of the fact that I was just sat there reading. And like while they were playing, playing Wordle or whatever on their phone, I was like, I've got to finish this book. I was so engrossed. Literally could not put it down. And it's just because I really wanted to know what would happen to the characters. And I think when you get that kind of feeling, when you're like, I need to know they're okay, I need to know that what's going to happen is going to be good. And it felt good to kind of like get through and be like, okay, another one. All right, let's go. So I did struggle to put it down, and I would definitely recommend this book to you. But again, it might not be your cup of tea. It might not be your genre, and that's absolutely fine. I do try and branch out with genres. I do know that sometimes I can, and I know I'm guessing you guys might feel this way as well when you're in a certain feeling and you're like, do you know what? I only I'm not in the mood for anything else. Like, I just want romantasy, or I just want horror. I just want whodunits. I just want thrillers. I just want ghost stories. I just want detective stories. You kind of got to be in a mood to read something. And I feel like this was, as soon as I was like, I'll pick it up, I'll take it down with me. I was in the mood. I got it done so quickly. But again, obviously, if you've read it and you don't agree, if you read it and you go, actually, do you know what? Don't know what Peggy's harping on about. Like, absolutely crazy. Like, it weren't that great. That's absolutely fine. The reason of this channel, as I've said it before, I've said it many times, I'll say it again. It's not for me to tell you that I'm right and you're wrong in your opinions. This is for me to go, this is a book I thoroughly enjoyed. I would recommend this in a heartbeat. Read it and let me know if you liked it. Because for me, a win is knowing that there are people out there that are reading that might not have necessarily read, or getting someone rekindled in their passion of reading. You know, it's creating that sort of like area. And like, even if it's audiobooks, like anything, just I am so passionate about it that I feel so happy when someone goes, do you know what, thank you so much for your review, I read a book because of it. It's just those little wins. I don't even care. Like, I love my subscribers, and thank you so much for all of you people that are subscribing, but I just care that someone has watched an episode of mine and gone, I'll give that book a go because of this. That's all I want. All I want is a reading nation. Who knows? Escape from reality. But anyway, audiobook, library, Kindle, hardback, you know the drill. If you want to read it, give it a go. Let me know what you think. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't have this cold for another 2 weeks. Hopefully, I'll be back to my normal self in 2 weeks, and I'll sound back to normal. But thank you so much for your guys' continued support. And it's because of you guys that I was like, I need to film, even though my voice isn't 100%, because I couldn't let you guys go a week without this. So thank you. And honestly, remember to always keep it contento.